Hey YouTube, so I'm going to do a quick video on these hyper adapts because I've only just got them working again. Um, Frustrating to the max, I could tell you, when it doesn't work. Absolutely wonderful when it does work. So the problem I had with mine is I bought these things off eBay, so they were dead stock, but and I've worn them today. That's why there's a bit of grit in the sole. Um, Dead stock off eBay. They came with the authentication crap, whatever. And because I paid so much for the things, I really didn't want to wear them. And two, I'm not really into the all black, triple blacks, these are called, colorway. I would have preferred a one of those other colors that they came with, a grey upper or something. Anyway, is what it is in my size, because they always recommend you get a half size bigger. So I ended up getting 11 and a halves, and even these at 11 and a half, I do find the toe box probably a little bit tight. But anyway, they are extremely comfortable, I gotta say, when you wear them. I wore them all day today on concrete, and probably one of the best, and depending on how tight you have them, best form-fitting shoes I've ever had. So really do like how when you calibrate these things that they adjust. Um, so I've got my move and my chill mode set up here. I don't think you can see that. In contrast on this camera won't show it. There you go. So you notice how it's 70 and 85 and then 35 and 45. So that's because my feet are obviously different sizes and it senses how much tension it needs, and that's really cool how it does that. So the technology is pretty amazing. The part that I'm or was annoyed with, and probably still am, and no doubt other users have a problem with this as well, is that if you let the batteries run down, that's it, it's all over, or so it seems. So these systems come with an induction plate. There's two circles here and here where you put your shoes, and then you plug in a USB. This is not the factory USBs, it's just one I happen to have on hand. And they come with a wall socket, so AC power to DC converter. In Australia, we have 240 volt, 10 amp. In America, it's 110 volt and I think 10 amp over there as well. But the difference is that in Australia, it's 50 hertz in the AC, and America's 60. Then it doesn't really matter. Once it gets converted, it comes out the same from the USB at 5 volt, 2 amp DC. So that's a kind of a standard for USB with pretty much everything. The problem is when you let these lithium ion batteries run down, they actually have a minimum threshold where they need to charge to. So ideally, you'd want to charge these at about sort of 15%. Apps the minimum. You don't want to let these run down right down to zero. And the problem was, I kept putting in these back in the box because I wasn't wearing them. I was just had them on display or whatever. It was just easier to put them back in the box and forget about them. And after a couple of weeks, they ran flat, and I couldn't recharge the right shoe. And I was a bit sore about it actually, because I paid 650 bucks for this pair of shoes, and I couldn't get the right shoe to charge at all for almost a year. So, in fact, for the last 3 months, the motor has been removed from the right shoe and has been riding around. I've got an induction charger in my car, and it's been sitting on that and nothing. And I was about given up on these things, and I thought, fine, I'll buy a second pair if I can get a cheap enough pair that do work, and I'll pull the motors out of those and I'll swap them over into this. And so I decided, had a friend come over on the weekend. I decided to sort of show him what the problem was. He knows a bit about electronics, and so I just simply set it up. The right shoe module was on the charger, and then the left shoe was on the plate. And rather than using this thing, I connected my USB, because there's USB-C, into the charging station. This end of the USB, I simply stuck it into the side of a laptop that I had sitting on the bench, and for reasons unbeknown, within about sort of a minute and a half, the module starts flashing along with the shoe. The shoe's flashing away and charging away, but the module starts flashing, and I'm like, what? So I let them charge up, and it actually only took 1 hour to fully charge when connected to the laptop, as opposed to it's normally about 2 or 3 hours when you're running the wall adapter. So I was amazed how quickly it did, and it synced up with the phone, the app on the phone, pretty much straight away. Which that in itself has been a bit of a nightmare, getting this thing to work. There is a reset thing you do. I don't remember the exact sequence now, but you got to hold the two buttons down and alternate. Anyway, you'll YouTube it. You'll find it. But once you've reset the shoes, then you can sync up your app. And I mean, mine actually sync up reasonably fast now. So we'll just I'll just shut everything down. And that's it, man. We're done. Ready to go. Ready to play. And so you've got there they are, done. You saw the tongue move, I think. Then you got your chill mode. So that's working. Play with your lights, colors and effects, strobe, 60 minutes, done. And as you can see, there it is. Both of them going. So, yeah, I'm at a loss as to why it did that. So that's what's this now? Pretty much, yeah. I've been playing with them a bit today, showing them off at work. So I am down to about 50%. I probably won't charge these until I get down to about 30% or 20 or something like that. But super impressed how well the system works when it's all synced and charged. Nightmare when it doesn't. And the only thing I wish Nike had included was a direct charge port, USB-C straight into the module would have been friggin' fantastic. Or just, well, now you know, you need more voltage to the induction plate. So apparently your 5 volt 2 amp doesn't cut it. You're actually going to need a bit more. Now I don't know what I would have thought USB on a computer would have been the same 5 volt 2 amp, but apparently it's not. It's a bit more. But here they are. They're working. And so if you've got a pair of these and you're having some grief with it, please by all means try that out. Use your USB to a port on your on your computer, and hopefully you'll have some luck. I'm going to wrap it up there. It's a 10-minute video. Thanks for watching.